Yes, great to be here again. Finally, we can see each other again. I want to share a little bit about what happened in the Netherlands. 8 years ago, I started with the first Mission Week. I didn't know about FOIA, didn't know about Mission Weeks at all. And now, a few years later, it's the moment also for me to have my last report. So, next to me is Nicole. She will take over, or she's already taking it over. But I want to share a little bit about what happened last year in the Netherlands. So yeah, we can continue. Yeah, next one. We had some online Passion Weeks last year. So in Nijmegen, for the first time even, they wanted to do something and they even tried to do it online. So it was really great, and they also want to do it next year. So it's good to do. Groningen, where it all started many years ago, they also continued with organizing it. Utrecht had their own event, Leiden, Eindhoven, and together also with Belgium, we worked together because we're thinking, okay, we want to do something bigger, so we could also have some more greater speakers and me also, but that was a little bit, yeah, you have to do something with me. And we had this event Under Pressure, so it was really great to work together, and also for cities who are not capable of finding a good team or a great team, they also could join in and help out and invite their friends. Then also I got some pictures about what happened. This is one of the problems was the teams couldn't meet with each other. So sometimes a team wanted to do something, but they never met before the event itself. So this is one team that just after many online meetings could meet each other on one of the hills around my city. We got hills. We call it mountains, but hills. This is also we've done a lot to make more professional videos, so we could put them online, and you still can find them. So that's also hopefully more and more people can watch them and see them also in the near future, and we can easily show it to other cities about what happened and what we are doing and what it all is. This is also what we're doing a lot, just to go on the streets. We even made it to the newspaper. In Dutch standing, there's a spiritual elephant giving donuts to students. That's something they did in Groningen. But it was also really nice to just do something to attract people and to give things. I think in the last years we often just were handing out leaflets, but now we're offering also more like food, and also in the next picture making goodie bags like they did over there. And also if you see the street here in Maastricht, most of the streets were empty, so it was really hard to do something in real life, but we're going out to have conversations, and sometimes it really happened that we had really good conversations. People were really ending up wanting a goodie bag and also watching the events. And the last thing I want to share was one of the messages I received after one of the events. Sorry for how late this message is, but I just want to thank you and your team so much for organizing this Passion Week. My housemate was really touched. She says she is not quite ready to give her life to God, but that this was the first step for her towards doing that. The guy who spoke answered her question so well. The whole thing created room for us to have deep conversations, and she was very touched by the whole thing. And I've often received this kind of messages, and probably I haven't heard many of them, if not all of them. And it's really sad we couldn't hand out feedback cards. But this is really nice to see that some things are happening. People are really good conversations with their housemates or friends, and they are continuing the conversation. So this was happening until April last year. And now I want to ask for a big applause for the new project leader of Passion Weeks of the Netherlands, Nicole.
Thank you. So I'm very grateful for everything that Frederick has done and all the weeks that have been going on. I have to be honest, I'm all quite new to this. Just a short reflection, I didn't grow up in a Christian family, never been to a Christian student union, so the Passion Weeks were like all new to me. So what I've been doing during lockdown is think and reflect and talk to people, and actually come up with like, okay, what are the things that are going really well and what are the things that we can improve on. So Frederick has asked me to kind of share my vision for what I think that is going to go well for the Passion Weeks in the next year or so. So I did my observations, and things were going great. I thought that some things can be improved on. So I noticed that most Christian unions in Holland have a lot of internal focus, which means that they're not quite used to sharing the gospel with one another because they're so focused internally on activities that are happening inside the Christian union. And I thought, well, there's something we can do with that. So, for example, we had an event, GoPro, which is in collaboration with Alpha and Student Life. And I spoke to a student that said, well, we've got 180 students in our union, but only 3 in the evangelistic committee. So that kind of shows that it's not always focused outward. Secondly, I noticed that loads of the attendants of the Passion Week were Christian students, so that kind of affirmed that the Christian unions are able, that they want to know more about faith, but they find the Passion Week as something to go to instead of inviting friends and talk about faith. And then lastly, I saw that follow-up was not quite there yet, although it's a long way to go. So that sounds all a bit sad, but I've kind of worked on it and thought, well, what can we do about it? So if you can go to the next slide. Yeah, I thought I'd put together as, although the public proclamation is essential for evangelism, I think the next step for Holland is to focus on relationships and encourage internal passion for mission, so that we can integrate the Passion Week more profoundly within the Dutch culture. So I thought about a few next steps, and one decision that I found very hard to make, but to actually put 13 weeks to 6 so we can have more time to focus on those relationships. That was due to the fact that some weeks it was very difficult to find students anyway, but also that another weeks we thought it would be great to invest in them more and deeply. So another thing is build relationship with the student workers. So I've been talking to quite a lot of student workers within IVs and listen to their vision on mission and see how they can work on the students and encourage them with their views on mission. So I think in that way we can contextualize the Passion Weeks more. So a thing that we've done is look into the mission guide that has been provided by FOIA, and also look back into the Dutch culture. And it's in my room, but I've got it with me. And I think lastly, just to collaborate with other organizations. And I think the GoPro that happened like a few weeks ago was very enthusiastic, and I heard lots of good talks from students, and they actually wanted to get deeper, get to know this Christian union better, and encourage their students to talk about their faith and share it with one another. So to me that sounded very encouraging, and I think it's a way forward. So far I keep it short. Thank you.